Hey guys, what's up? Happy Thursday. This is April 30th, and today we have another coffee talk coming at you live, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Been doing this for, well, let's see here. What is this one? This one is session coffee talk 32. Wow, 32 of these we've done so far. And for all of you that have shown up live or have watched the replay, I want to say thank you. And yeah, you're the reason why I keep doing this, because, well, if you guys don't show up, there's no reason for me to show up. So again, I just wanted to say welcome and thank you. And we're going to get cracking here. I did want to, hey, Jennifer, what's up? Deborah, good morning. Looks like YouTube is working. I haven't seen my Facebook friends yet, so maybe it's taking a minute here to get pushed out to Facebook. But we're going to get started here fairly shortly. Let me know once you do get on here on this live stream that you're here. Salama, good morning. Always good to see you. Great questions always, Salama. So thank you and keep them coming. I will say this before we do get rocking and rolling here. Helene, what is up? Good morning. Facebook is on. Awesome. Yeah, so today we are going to be talking about success routines. And we're going to talk about how to create one, but also how to stick to it, because I think that's the most important part. And I think right now, more important than ever, we need routine. Because, well, if you're still in quarantine, which a lot of us are, we don't have that normal schedule. And we're just kind of winging it. So what we want to do is we want to figure out what that looks like. I'm going to give you guys some ideas and some things that you can take away and maybe use yourself, or at least get you thinking differently about your own routine. So again, on Instagram, if you guys have any questions, or if you just want to let me know that you're there, go ahead and drop a comment in there. And also, hey, Justin, what's up, man? How are you? Glad to see you. But yeah, I just wanted to, give a little shout out here to everyone, our Take Action morning crew, as we're calling ourselves as of right now. But do me a quick favor. All right. These coffee talks are really about me being able to connect with you every single morning. All right. So I've committed to do this in the mornings. So far, so good. This is our 32nd one. So number 32 today. Yeah, keep coming back. This will be your daily dose of motivation, inspiration, and just a little bit of a take action thing that you can do so you can get out there and rock your day. Got a lot of cool things coming that I'm going to be sharing here as well during these. I've got one big thing that's coming up that I've been working on behind the scenes, and it's going to be officially announced May 11th on the podcast. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to listen to that episode. But if you are part of our Take Action morning crew, I'm going to be sharing it here before that episode airs. So make sure that you come back. Make sure that you hit the notification for Facebook or YouTube to be notified when we go live. So this way here, you can show up and you don't miss these things. All right. Do me one favor though. Okay. Leave a comment. Let me know that you're here, whether that's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter. But what I would love for you to do is share this with a friend. Share this with a friend that you feel should hang out with us in the morning and have a cup of coffee together, talk business, talk life. If you know someone, invite them. The more the merrier. But they have to be the right people. And the only thing that they really have to be considered one of our crew, our Take Action morning crew, is to really just, you want to go out there and build a lifestyle business, but you also, it's not all about the money. It's about the lifestyle that we can build for ourselves, the flexibility, the stability, becoming future-proof in our own skill set. So all of that stuff, those type of people are who we want to bring into our little community here, our little crew, our little morning crew. So guys, yeah, let me know that you're here. What's up, Mark? All the way from the UK. Justin, you're a diehard, man, all the way from Australia. Midnight for you right now. Morning all. Yeah, awesome. And Rebecca is here. Rebecca, thank you. Eventually, I'm going to learn that Hair Weave 101 on YouTube is Rebecca. I'm not good with names. I'm better with faces. But I'm going to try to remember that for tomorrow. That'll be a little test here. Hair Weave 101, Rebecca. I'm going to try to remember that without you putting that in there. But if you would put it in there, that would be helpful. What's up, Instagram? All right. So let's get to it. Okay. So I'm not going to pull up my little handy dandy iPad this morning. I'm just going to go off my notes here. All right. I've got like 8 things that I want to cover here that are into a routine. So think about this for a minute. Like when we have a job, as much as we maybe don't like it, we create a routine around the job, right? So I remember years ago when I did have a job, and I remember I would get up at the same exact time. I would do exactly what I would do in the morning to get ready. I would come downstairs. I would, start the truck if it was cold, and then I would go out and get in the truck, and then I would go to a little convenience store near us called Stewart's, and I would get a cup of coffee. And at that time, I probably got like an apple fritter, which I probably shouldn't have had. I know I shouldn't have had because I was heavier then. And then I would go to my office where my employees were waiting for me, and then we would get them off and running. And then I would go to my first job. And then from there, I would deal with putting out fires all day long, basically, people's problems and stuff. And then from there, I would come home late at night, usually after dinner time, sometimes dinner time, but a lot of times it was late because I was the last one to leave the job site, and come home and see my kids for about an hour, tuck them in, go to bed, and maybe watch a little something on TV with my wife, and then off to bed it was, and I'd start it all over again. That was the routine, right? Not a good routine, by the way. I didn't enjoy that. I enjoyed coming home and seeing my kids, but I didn't enjoy it. No workout was in there. No self-development was in there. None of that stuff. And I've learned a lot since then. But I had a routine, right? That is a routine. And you probably have a routine right now yourself. But when things change, okay, your routine changes. And now you adapt to the new situation, right? So a great example of this, when I first, and I'll never forget this, I came downstairs the first day that I was self-employed for myself. And I remember being like, wow, this is awesome. I came down. I didn't even know what to do with myself. Like, what do I do first? I'm going to make coffee. Well, then what am I going to do? Probably got to get the kids off to school. Okay, that's cool. And then from there, I come home, and then I got to structure my day somehow, right? So I had to build a routine. I wasn't used to it. It was new. Well, right now, there's a lot of disruption in people's lives, right? With this whole quarantine, with COVID-19, it's just people are feeling lost in a sense. As much as it's like at first, they're like, cool, I don't have to go to my office anymore. I can work from home. And a lot of businesses are allowing you to do that. And that's great. But then all of a sudden you start being like, well, wow, I'm not really getting up at the same time every day because I don't necessarily have to go fight traffic. I don't have to go to bed at the exact time because I can kind of wake up whenever I want, right? And so when we do that, you start to lose routine. When you start to lose routine, you start to feel scattered, and then you start to feel even sometimes depressed. I know if I don't have a schedule, if I don't have a routine, I feel all over the place. I feel like I'm not productive. I feel like I'm not doing the right things. I feel like I might be wasting time. I just feel all over the place, right? So in order to really, really get out there and like I say, rock your week, you got to come up with a routine, right? And I think it starts with, for me, and I'll walk through like mine in like this little 8-step thing here that I got for you and kind of what it looks like. But when you build this routine, it allows you to serve all parts of your day, but also all parts of you, right? Because if you just wake up out of bed and kind of rub your eyes and then start getting on the computer, I don't believe that's the best strategy. At least it's not for me, right? I like to get up. I like to get a little exercise in. I like to be by myself, to be quite honest with you. I like to have that silence in a sense. I like to have no one else around, even though I love being with people, right? So I like that little bit of time that I have. So I get up early before my family gets up, and I get that little bit of time, right? Then when they're up, I'm ready, right? So I'm just going to walk through here with you. Now, let me ask you guys, do you feel like since this COVID-19, and again, this is just one scenario, but have you felt like your routine has been disrupted? And has it been hard for you? So just drop that in the comments. Let me know. I'm just curious. If we're having coffee together, tea, whatever you're drinking, we'd be having this conversation at the coffee shop. So let's have that conversation. Are you right now struggling a little bit, or have you adapted a new routine? So it doesn't, just because I'm basically saying that I've created a new routine, it doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody else. It just means that I kind of did it and I learned from it from the past, right? So let me know that in the comments. Okay, so here's what mine looks like real quick. Number one, the morning to me is like everything. It sets the stage for how the day is going to go. And I'll give you an example how my day this morning was totally disrupted. Totally disrupted. I mean, my whole day is probably going to be, and I think I see a pool company going by here right now, and I'll just give you a hint. It had something to do with my pool. So probably as soon as I get off here, I'm going to be outside dealing with something. I'll let you guys know what that is. But my routine starts with the morning. Okay. And so when I get up in the morning, I allow myself enough time to get up, wash my face real quick, brush my teeth, and then put my sweatshirt on, and out the door I go with my little flashlight, my earbuds, and I take about a 30 to a 40-minute walk. And that's what I do every morning. It's dark out. No one's up. I like that time. It's peaceful. Birds are chirping. I might pass one or two people that are either jogging with a lamp on their head or a flashlight, but not a lot of not a lot of foot traffic. So I go out there and I love that time. I get to think. I get to absorb. I get to just be, with myself. And then from there, I come back and then I sit down in my office right here where I'm actually at. And then I take that back. I go over there. There's another chair over there, and I meditate for 10 minutes. And I use Headspace. It's an app that I use. I love it. And then from there, I move to this spot, and then I just read one. Right now, I switched to where I'm reading for about, a minute. There's a book that I'm reading. It's called Positivity. It's just great. It has like these 1 pages that you read, and then you just absorb, and then you leave. So it's just like one dose of positivity. So anyway, that's kind of what happens there. I'm sorry if I'm looking out to the window there. I was just seeing if there's anybody coming up. There's not. So anyway, so self-care is huge, right? So number one for me is getting up at the same time. So when you have a structure to your day and it starts with getting up at the same time, that starts the day, right? So that's number one. Morning, and then get up at the same exact time every day. Set your alarm to get up at the same exact time every single day. Now, number two is the self-care part. No phone. The only part of the phone that I'm using is if I'm listening to something, but I'm not going into email. I'm not going into social media. I'm not going into any of that stuff. I'm not going into my text messages. I'm not going into any of that stuff. All I'm going into is my podcast app if I want to, an audiobook, or sometimes just some good old-fashioned rock music. Seriously. Takes my mind out of where I'm at. And I've done that quite a bit. If I'm like stressed out about something or something's on my mind, I'll just put on some old tunes from when I was younger, and I'll just listen. And it just kind of takes me away for a minute, right? And so that's what I do there. That's self-care, right? Now, number three is creating time blocks. So that's kind of its own time block, self-care hour, if you will, right? And then, of course, you take your shower and you get yourself ready, and then you come out. And then from there, I basically let my dogs out, get them all ready to go, and, give them a hug and pet them and lay there with them for a minute. I literally love just sitting there for like 5 to 10 minutes, just petting them and just kind of like being in their world for a minute. It just, again, that's self-care in a sense. It's like, I guess it's like a stress reliever for me. So it's really cool. So I do that. And then the time blocks though. So now from there, we would move into, okay, what's block number one? Block number one is I'm going to sit down with my cup of coffee. And now also I've adapted what I've talked about before, which is these tiny habits, this book right here. And what I do is while my cup is brewing, I go in the garage and I do a set of something. So it might be a bench press set. It might be a pull down set. It might be a curl set. And it's about a minute. And so I get that exercise thing in first, right? And I actually do 50 push-ups in the bathroom before I actually come out and start my day. So again, that's another thing that I've adapted in that schedule. But what I'm trying to share with you guys is like, everything I do is pretty much in the morning. Now, in the afternoon, that's a different story. Things can happen, and I allow for that. But the morning is your most important because it's your most creative time. So you want to really set the day up for success. And the way you do that is you start your morning off the right way for success, right? So theming, okay? So theming is looking like this. you basically need to map out your week. And that's one thing that I do in the beginning of the week. That's actually one of my blocks. And then from there, I know exactly what I'm working on for that block of time. And I usually work in hour blocks. So then I just schedule that. So the morning is generally doing that type of work, right? If I have something scheduled, I'm going to try to get that done. So today, for example, I have a presentation that I'm doing for Seller Summit, Steve Chu's event. It's a virtual event that he's doing online, and it's next week. I need to get that done. So that's part of one of my blocks today is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to basically map it all out. It's not going to be perfect. It's just going to be mapped out. That's 1 hour block. I'll have another hour block where I go in and I polish it, right? I might have another hour block where I actually go through and present it. So that's a project, but it's something that I'm working on. But I've themed it that day is going to be about creating and creating stuff in, for that particular thing. But you get the point, right? So we're theming. I have another day where I theme the hour for doing an outline for maybe future guests that are coming on the show, right? That's something. So that all that stuff happens in that morning time. Now, number 4 is scheduling exercise. This is something I have not been really good at. I want to get better at, but I want to schedule that in, and it's hit or miss with this. But when you schedule it in, it's like a task. It has to get done. So that's why I've kind of built these little mini exercise sessions in throughout the day. So that way there, I don't have to block out 30 minutes. I can just go, oh, I'm going to go do 2 minutes over here. I'm going to do planks while I'm, letting my second cup of coffee brew, something like that. So at least I get that in there. And then number 5 is scheduling fun. Like this is huge. And this is something I have not done all that well either. I'm going to get better at, but it's scheduling fun time. That fun time could be playing with the dogs, playing with your kids, right? Like last night, was it last night? No, it was the night before. I think my daughter and we did some volleyball stuff. I want to do more of that. I want to actually dedicate time with her to do agility for volleyball. And then I'll do the agility with her. So then I get to exercise and I get to hang out with my daughter doing something she loves and having fun, right? Or it might be playing a board game, or maybe it's sitting down watching a TV program together as a family that we're going to laugh about. Those are things. I think we need to add that into part of our routine, not just work. Okay. And I'm trying to get better at that myself, guys. And then 6 is dinner. I like to have dinner as a family. I don't like it if someone's off in another room. That never happens, by the way. But there has been times that okay, everyone else is eating and then I come in, midstream because I was on a call or something because it ran over. I don't like that. I love sitting down as a family, no phones, and just listening and talking and just sharing. It's old fashioned, but I love that. And I want more of that. So that's that. And then 7 is the wind down. Again, having a little bit of fun, laughing, playing cards, maybe playing cornhole in the yard if it's a nice day. Maybe it's out sitting by the pool as a family. Maybe it's taking a ride. Whatever it is, it's having fun, but you're winding down for the night. Okay. And then 8 is bedtime. And try to make sure that you go to bed at the same exact time every single night. And it's not always possible, but I like to be in bed by 10 to 10:30 at the latest. Anytime I go past that, I don't feel as good in the morning. I don't feel as rested because I'm getting up at 5:30 every single morning. That's the same. So if I go to bed at 11, that eats into that. It's a half hour. So it might take me 10 minutes to get to sleep. I just ate into my sleep time. That actually hurts your performance. And I've noticed the difference big time. So there's other things that go into that, your diet, nutrition, we try to eat really, really healthy, as healthy as we can. I still cheat here and there. I think we all should be able to have the ability to do that just within range. But, my bulletproof coffee, I don't eat until probably 1, 2 o'clock. I intermittent fast. I have 2 cups of coffee. It's bulletproof. So it's got, it's a high fat, so it kind of makes you feel full. But I love it. I enjoy it. So anyway, I'm not going to go too much more on that, but I just wanted to share all that with you, that routines are big. And anytime that I don't have that, I feel lost. Now, I think that there should be a day that you can just say, you know what, I'm just going to sleep in and I'm just going to see what the day brings. And there's no hard schedule. There's no plans. I do think we need to build that into our routines as well. And I'm going to work better on that too. But anyway, any questions on this? And was this helpful to you? Because I think we all need to just understand that we're not going to figure it all out. We're going to be kind of, building our routine as things change, as things evolve, as our business changes, as our life changes, as where we live changes. I used to live in New York. Things were different there than they are here. I can walk longer during the year versus in, New York. It was like, I couldn't walk sometimes outside because it was snow and freezing and I didn't want to, right? So things change. So let's go ahead and see if we have any quick questions here. Let's see here. Cool, man. We got a bunch more people jumping on here. I see. Okay, cool. Wow, we got a lot of comments coming in here. Okay, cool. Good morning, David in Israel. Dude, can I just say that I absolutely love it that we're connecting with people from Australia, the UK, Israel. Like, come on. Like, how amazing is this that we're having coffee or tea or water, whatever you're drinking, together right now at 10 a.m. Eastern time, my time, and you're in Israel. Like, that's just insane. It's just insane to me, which I'm very grateful, though. Tim, what's up, man? How are you? I'm doing great. And let me also share with you how my day was kind of screwed up this morning. It was a little bit of a shocker. I loved you broke down the why in your Take Action Effect book. Yeah, Justin, it's a pretty powerful exercise. You go really deep with figuring it out. It's not just about, I want to make more money. Yeah, but what are we really doing that for? And you got to think about that stuff. Letitia, what's up? Absolutely. Mike Smiley, I've worked from home for about 20 years, so my routine hasn't changed. That's awesome. Lack of schedule, Letitia says. Yeah, well, we got to fix that. That's all. Troy, what's up, man? How are you? Jennifer, yes, adding homeschooling 4 kids has made any routine I had difficult. Figuring it out, getting up earlier for my time, sanity time. Yeah, a lot of people are in that boat. I mean, my daughter's pretty self-sufficient they have a lot of online classes and stuff, but I mean, still you have someone that's home that might need your assistance. So when you're homeschooling 4 kids, yeah, kudos to you. What's up, Chris? How are you, man? Let's see. Lena, my new routine, morning starts from Scott's coffee time. I love that. That you threw that in there. So morning routine is having coffee with Scott. I love that. I'm honored. Thank you. All right, cool. Oh, Troy really knows me. A little Dokken. Does anybody else know Dokken except for Troy? Anybody know the band Dokken from back in the day? Troy, you just got extra points for that, by the way. Funny story. I was supposed to go to a Dokken show last weekend, and obviously it got canceled. But I had tickets and everything. I was flying out to Arizona with a buddy of mine. My wife was going to come. My daughter was going to go too. Derek, can you send us an example of how you schedule your work and map it out, please? What tool do you use to map out your day? I use a notebook. Yeah, I have a calendar that's online, and I can use all that stuff. But I use basically a notebook. I've done that in the past. If you guys are watching this, I probably should do this now too. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, if you go right here, after this is live, there should be a card that will pop up that will take you to a playlist. In that playlist, you'll see all of the past coffee talks. And from there, you'll be able to see some of those past episodes. That actually was done in another one, but I could do that again and go in a little bit more detail for sure. Let's see. Exercise and eating right is necessary. You have to schedule meals too. You're absolutely right. 100%. Bon Jovi, Cinderella. Those I listened to, but I was more into Dokken. I was more into George Lynch, by the way. He's the guitar player for Dokken. What do you do when you have a scheduled something to do and you do not feel like doing it? How do you motivate yourself on those days when you do not feel inspired? I think you have to create a job for yourself to get done, and you need to put a deadline on it. If I didn't put a deadline on the thing that's going to happen on May 11th, I would have probably pushed it off even longer, because I pushed it off for about 1.5 years. So deadlines work, and you got to give yourself that. I'm supposed to do a presentation for Steve Chu's event, his virtual event, next week. I have to get it done, right? I'm putting it off because I'm not excited about putting it all together, because it's just, I got to sit down and think. But once I get rolling with it, I'll be good. You got to get yourself there. It's like putting on your shoes or your sneakers to go take a walk. The hardest part is getting your sneakers on. Once you get them on, you get out the door, you're there, right? So it's not always easy, but you do need to create that schedule and stick to it. So true. All work, no play, make Jack a dull boy. That is true. Wow. You have a pool. Yes, I do have a pool, and it's not looking pretty right now. How many hours do you work every day on average? How many chunk time slots do you do? So typically I would say 5 to 6 hours a day. And I try to get that blocked out in the morning. So I try to go from like 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock is like concentrated work. And then from there in the afternoon, I might do an interview. Like I have interviews usually either a 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock slot. And then I'm done. But I tend to sometimes if something needs to be done, I will come in and do it. But I would say on the average of 4 to 5 hours. Some days if I'm working on a deadline, it might be longer. Rat, yes. Mark knows me too. Rat, yeah, round and round, right? Yes. Do you have a bedtime routine as well? I'm trying to get my morning and night routine dialed in. It's not as good as my morning. It's always not as good as the morning. But it is, when I see that time hit 10 o'clock, then I'm like, I got to get to bed. Now, I have played around with the blue blockers, the glasses to before bed. I do this though. I've been experimenting with this and I do like this. I have the app Headspace and I use it's called wind down or shut down. I'm sorry, it's shut down. And it's it's basically a woman that comes on and she basically walks through turning off your body and your mind. And I'll tell you, by the time that 5 minutes is up, I'm like falling asleep. And then I just flip my phone. Oh, it's over on the dresser. I flip my phone over and I put it on my sleep app, which is called Sleep Cycle. And that wakes me up it's set for 5:30 to 5:45. So it'll wake me up in between that time. It takes me out of the deep sleep, or it wakes me up when I'm coming out of the deep sleep. So that's good, but I am working on that, but it's always, I'm not going to be like looking at information or getting my mind wound up or worked up. And I do not ever check email after I'm done checking out, at like 3, 4 o'clock. Is your schedule different when kids are in school physically? Yes and no. I mean, the biggest thing is that I take a half hour to bring my daughter to school with my wife and then come home. But typically no. I mean, like right now it's pretty much my schedule is my schedule. The only thing that would have changed is if she's going to school, I'm going to bring her to school. If she's getting home from school, I'm going to, get her off the bus. That's about it. Now volleyball, that was something that was in my schedule. That's not there right now because you can't play volleyball. You can't have any social interaction. Right. So, and it kind of stinks because we really enjoy that time. I loved it because it got me away from the business stuff. It's just, I enjoy it. I enjoy watching her. I enjoy going there, seeing people. So we haven't been able to do that. So that was one thing that's been taken away. So we're trying to fill that void. So her and I and my wife to be able to go out in our driveway and just do an hour of volleyball, whether that's agility, whether it's passing or serving or just any of that stuff. We want to get in a routine of like making that, even though she's not going to practice, we're going to go to practice. So you just have to make those part of your day. All right. So guys, we are going to have to wrap up. Let me share with you guys how my morning got really disrupted. So I went on my walk. We had a heavy rain last night, super, super heavy rain. The night before we had also some rain, but it wasn't as heavy as this, some high winds. And, so I went on my walk. It was dark, came home, went in the normal way that I come into my house, sat down, did all my stuff, did my morning routine, up to the point where I took my dog out. And I let my dog Maisie, who's a Bernedoodle, I let her out first. And I walked out, and it's out near our driveway. And I looked over at my pool, and it was full of dirt. Like literally, it looked like a mud pool. And I was like, "Oh, what the heck happened here? Like, what the heck happened?" And so I knew our neighbors are having a pool put in. They just finished it. And we live on somewhat of a hill. And I noticed that they put up this, they call it a silt screen, where it's basically, it takes the dirt and it doesn't allow it to pass through. So it diverts the water anytime you're doing construction. And they had a pipe that was coming down that was kind of heading our way. And I'm like, it's kind of weird. They're probably going to divert it though, but it's kind of weird, maybe temporary. And we hadn't had any problems. They've been building the pool for like 6 months. Well, they pulled the screen down. And we had that heavy rain, and all of the sand and the dirt and the clay just started coming down the hill and went over our wall and down into our pool. And so now I was like, okay, so normally I'm going to go in and make my cup of coffee and sit down and do my normal stuff, but I had to do a timeout. I had to go drain water out of the pool because the pool was overflowing. I had to turn the filter on because the filter wasn't running yet. And then we had to contact our neighbor and just let them know what's happening. And they were great about it. And I kind of told them, I kind of seen this coming. I was just hoping that the pool company was going to divert the water better, but they hadn't. And as I was sitting here doing this, I just seen a pool truck go by. So they're probably up there investigating it. I'm probably going to have to go out and talk to them. But yeah, so someone that was in the construction world, I was just kind of like, they're not going to leave it like that, right? And they did. And now our pool looks like a mud bath. So now we have to decide, how do we get it clean? Do we just let it settle and then vacuum? And do we have to put new water in it? Do we have to drain it? Like, I don't know. So I got to figure that out. So that was not part of the routine, by the way. So life is going to happen. Things are going to happen. Scott still showed up here though, didn't he? 10 a.m. Eastern time. Because you know why? I dedicated myself to doing this. So you know what? Things happen, but the show must go on, right? So the reason why I'm sharing that with you guys is because, you may sit there and say, nothing like, bad happens to Scott. No, a lot of stuff happens bad to Scott, but I try to surround myself with positive people. I try to also be grateful for what I have. I had the ability to take a walk today. Some people don't get that ability. So I always try to be grateful, and I try to let it roll off my back the best that I can. It's not always easy, but I try my best. And life can deal you some nasty cards sometimes. People are losing their jobs. People are closing their doors. People are losing their businesses. People are in financial struggles right now. I get it. It's not an easy time. But you know what? If you have a positive attitude and you look at what can come from this, then we can all kind of push through it together. And that's what I really want this to be. This is not all about business for me. Business helps me live the life that I want to live. And I'm not talking Lamborghinis and yachts. That's not me. Mine is like, yeah, I have a pool. Okay. It's not like a major fancy pool, but it's a nice pool. I have a decent house in a decent neighborhood. I don't want the 8,000 square foot mansion or 10,000 square foot mansion with 2 pools and all of the stuff that would require me to maintain it. I just want simplicity. And that's always what I'm striving for. And I want stability, and I want my health. Because if you're sitting there on your deathbed, are you going to sit there and say, oh, I had a really fancy this, or, oh, I really wish I would have learned more about the chatbot thingy and that shiny object, which tomorrow I'm going to talk about some shiny object stuff. But really, that's what I want this to be. So yes, I'm going to share with you guys business stuff here and all of that. But I also want this to be about, how do we deal with the head? How do we deal with life? How do we get through hard times? So anyway, if you guys are getting value from this and you guys want me to continue, all you really need to do is show up, contribute, be here, and also invite a friend. Like, that's it. I'm not saying invite 10 friends. If you want to, you can, but invite one friend. Let them know about our coffee talks. All right. And who knows where this will go. But I always remember where I start, and I always remember who was there with me when I started. This whole coffee talk is new. It's something I decided to start here during this quarantine, and I have no idea where it's going to start. This is our 30-second coffee talk, right? I started a podcast 5 years ago, and I started it with 1 episode. Didn't know where it would go. We're at 820 plus episodes. You never know where it's going to go, but you got to get started. You got to take action, as I always say. So, let me just look at the comments here real quick, and then we got to go. Let's see here. How did you get rid of the bombardment of emails that are coming to your email box that is not solicited by you? You can filter them out. There's filters and stuff, or you just have someone manage it for you. How are you able to fit everything into 3 to 4 hour o'clock? I feel like you do a lot to fit it in. Cutoff time is impressive. How long did it take you to be that efficient? I'm still working on it. Helene, it's not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I'm still working on it. So it might sound all perfect. My morning is pretty much dialed in. It's the afternoon I'm still working on, and the evening and the shutdown. It's turning it off is hard. I think as entrepreneurs, it's always hard to do that. But it took a while. It takes a while. But hopefully me sharing this is going to help you speed that up. What kind of doodle dog you said? Oh, it's a Bernedoodle. It's a Bernese Mountain Dog and a doodle, or a poodle. I love her too. She's crazy though. We call her her name is Maisie. We call her Crazy Maisie. She's awesome, but she is crazy. Maybe check out Swim University. Yeah, maybe I should. I'm actually supposed to have him on the podcast at some point. Yeah, Derek says life happens. Sorry about your pool. Thanks for showing up. Very upbuilding coffee talks. Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. I got it. See that? I didn't even see it in the name. Lydia, I can't always make it to the morning, but when I can, you always put a smile on my face and in my heart. Thank you. Lydia, that means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that. Karen, I'm sending out my first email. What is a good heading to get their attention? Really depends on what it's about. We could do a whole coffee talk on that. Maybe we should. Yeah, put something in there. What do you want to dig into that? We can dig into that. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe the following day. We could do something on sending out your emails and what to write. We could do that for sure. Let's see. Tell us about a shiny object stuff. How do we stop that madness of being distracted? Well, you're in luck. Derek, come back tomorrow, okay? Because tomorrow I've got it written down here. Avoid shiny objects. How to know what to focus on in your business. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. It's a real problem, by the way, and I've suffered from it myself. So I'm speaking from experience. And actually part of my talk for Seller Summit is going to be not about shiny objects, but about how to really focus on the things that truly matter in your business so you can get massive results without feeling stressed. And that's, again, I'm still mastering it, trying, but I've learned a lot and I'm going to share that. But tomorrow is going to be avoiding shiny objects, how to know what to focus on in your business. So we're going to definitely talk about that. Yes, Salama, you as well. Is that a big dog? Yeah, she's about 70 pounds. That would be great. Yes, please. I will be there, Derek. All right, cool. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up this coffee talk. This has been awesome. Again, if you want to get any of the other episodes or listen, you can always find that. We'll drop it in the description as well. And also there will be a card that should pop up either here or it'll be in the description. And then if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about here on an upcoming coffee talk, let me know. And would definitely love to hear from you. And then also, again, just share this with someone. And if you're not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do that. All right. Give the YouTube channel a little love. And that way there also, you will be notified when we go live in the future. All right. Got a lot of cool things coming, guys. I got a ton of cool things that I want to share with you guys. So make sure that you show up here and then also make sure that you either subscribe to the YouTube channel or you are on our Facebook fan page, which that is where everything will be published. And man, oh man, I've got a pretty cool announcement that I'm super excited about and I'm working on behind the scenes and I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. All right, guys, that is it. That is going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow.